Hi everybody, Roy here, and I'd like to introduce Jackie. He has her home here on Lake Geneva, and I got invited to do a beautiful garden here on the lake. And Jackie, if you could explain what your thought process was to begin this venture or adventure.
Absolutely. I love gardening, I love flowers, and I've lived here a long time and have never really put in a perennial garden, don't have a big gardening space. And when I read your book, and I've been to the Northwind Perennial Farm, thought I want to do this, but I don't know how. And I met you, and this is going to change this house and this life in this house. The house is 104 years old this year, and I feel like the house is going to be happy to have all these gorgeous flowers in front of it finally.
Oh, thank you. This will be exciting. And as we plant, we'll go through our planting process and style. See you later. Thanks. Hi everybody. Well, we finished planting yesterday, and what I thought I'd do is take you through some of the patterns that I put together for this project, and it was very exciting. And I'm very excited to say that we're going to be coaching the team here of how to do stewardship for the garden. So we'll be involved with coaching, and then also they'll be using their skills as they develop to introduce new gardens. So we're going to continue bringing gardening into a higher level with more and more folks. So I'm very excited about that. And I think that's our inevitable future, the difference between landscapers and gardeners. And we need both of them, but we need gardeners desperately more. So with that, let's take a look at some of the patterns I have here. And then we'll see how they shape up too. We'll see how the growth rate is based on soil conditions and moisture. We can adjust the moisture, but some of the soil conditions we can't really do much with, so we'll see how the plant growth reacts to that, and we can make a few changes here and there when I see the big picture, and that's called gardening. So it's very cool. So I started with Molinia Transparent, and I used 3 or 4 of them. In between that, I put a phlox I got called Dixter. I got that from Future Plants to try. It has different shades of blue as the flowers age. So I mixed Dixter and Molinia Transparent, tucked a little Calamitha in at the base to give it a puff of white. That drifts into Eupatorium Milk and Cookies from Brent, so we have copper foliage emerging from the ground. And we have that copper color giving away to beautiful flat white flowers. And then we go to Amsonia Butterscotch, and I have Amsonia Butterscotch drifted in groups throughout the planting from here to the very end, and it gives it stabilization. There's a group, and it has a beautiful butterscotch fall color. So it's going to look really good from the lake view this fall. Not as much this fall, but the following falls. And the garden is viewed from the lake and also from the walking path. So there's 2 different elements of putting the garden together. Some intimate mingling, and yet some large block planting so people could see it as they go by in their boats or fishing. And then carry into Astilbe Tegetii. I grew that from seed. It's kind of like purple curves, very vertical look, has flower spikes that go in a vertical way, and they're quite puffy and narrow at the tip. And then it goes into a restful moment of Spiralis aeroides mixed with Veronica Lightsaber. It's a new Veronica I got from Walters. It's about 30 inches tall and has kind of a fuchsia colored flower, and those flowers should just float just above the flowering Spiralis aeroides with that kind of a soft brown cloud that they'll produce in June. And beyond that is Echinacea Baby White Swan and Alba. I have 2 different heights of white cone flowers, undulating between and drifting between Perovskia, little spire, and a taller Perovskia. So I have a tall and short, I have the species, and then little spire to give it contrasting height and width. And then beyond that, I go to a nice large block of Stachys officinalis humilo, and I've got another group of Stachys Summer Crush from Brent that gets taller, kind of mixed in with that towards the end as they drift into the blue of the Perovskia. So I hope that blends well together. And as we go towards the end, I've got another moment of Sporobolus with the Veronica. And then my favorite part is up against the shrub. I got Thalictrum rochebrunianum, that pink heavy plant that will kind of arch over. And that's supported by Sanguisorba upright. It's a selection I made that grows very upright with about 1 inch, inch and a half red flowers. And just beyond that, I have one plant of Sanguisorba parviflora that has beautiful white dangling flowers, and that'll be just up against the shrubs, and that'll dangle over the pink of the Thalictrum. That will cut above the vertical red of the Sanguisorba upright, and then it finishes off with a group, a supporting group of Amsonia butterscotch. And that will support any leaning that some of the plants do onto each other. The butterscotch will be that nice mound at the end. And basically on the other side, I repeated the patterns, but in different layers. So I have repetition of the patterns, but I put them in a different situation in relationship to each other. And I ended it with a very calming planting of Deschampsia gold tau going into Millennia transparent with white agastache. So I think that'll be a nice look. And you know what? Anything that doesn't quite work out, guess what I can do next year? I can change it. I can dig them out, rearrange them. And I love that because that's called gardening. And my hope is it's only about 5 to 6% or 10% of what we rearrange, or it might be nothing. Maybe it looks super the next year, and we'll do some gardening the 3rd or 4th year. Thanks everybody. I'm glad we spent some time together.